Obama's national security team had best be the best. Things are getting increasingly bad in a part of the world now where it is especially bad to have things going badly, namely the Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, South Asia triangle, where new details about the deadly Mumbai terrorist attacks are making an already dangerous corner of the world seem even more dangerous. Joining us now is NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel. Richard, many thanks for being here.
It's really a pleasure, and I must warn you tonight, I have been armed with a map.
I'm very excited about this.
It all goes down to geography.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier when you can really see some of the things laid out in front of you. The intelligence today, India and U.S. security officials say that cell phone numbers were discovered on a satellite phone of senior Lashkar al-Taiba militants, which means that by all indications, Lashkar al-Taiba was responsible for this.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean?
And who's
Lashkar al-Taiba is a group based in Kashmir, but with a lot of support in Pakistan. The Pakistani institution you should really know about is called the ISI. It is the Pakistani intelligence agency. It's very similar to the CIA. And going back to the 80s, the ISI had two strategies. One was to back Islamic fundamentalist militants in Afghanistan, and the other was to back them in Kashmir.
Why did they want to do that?
Well, for a couple of reasons. They wanted to back them in these militants were the Mujahideen and then later became the Taliban in Afghanistan, because if you look at Pakistan, it is a very narrow country. It is a small country compared to India, which is giant.
Yeah.
These countries have long been rivals, foes, since they were separated. And if India were ever to attack, it could probably overrun Pakistan. So it's always wanted to have friends and proxies in power back in Afghanistan. And the same degree to have friends and allies and militant groups in Kashmir, which is disputed property, so that it could carry out attacks onto India. So if you had the Taliban, which later went on to attack the United States in 9/11, in Kashmir it was the Lashkar, which carried out the attacks in Mumbai, as everyone knows recently.
Okay, so that's based on the... You have a little flame there on the map.
These are your toys that you gave me for this.
This is very impressive. So if we know now, at least we have good evidence now, good clues, that the Mumbai attacks may have been carried out by Lashkar, which has... Which has been supported by the ISI.
Exactly.
Then
that creates the tension that is between these two nuclear-powered states.
Well, looking at Afghanistan there and thinking about our relationship with Pakistan, if the Mumbai attacks have been carried out, at least it appears, by the Lashkar, which has ties to the Pakistani government, obviously things are going to get very bad very quickly between India and Pakistan.
Yes,
but does
they already have been escalating in a war of words.
And they weren't good to begin with.
Absolutely not.
But does this also have a big impact on our troops who are very nearby in Afghanistan?
Yes, exactly for this reason. There are about 120,000 Pakistani troops along the border with Afghanistan. U.S. troops are on the other side of the border. This area in the middle is where the fighting with the Taliban is going on, in this cross-border area, Waziristan, the Northwest Frontier Province. This is the center of what is the U.S. war in Afghanistan, the fight, and it is backed up by these Pakistani troops on the other side of the border. Their loyalties are sometimes mixed, sometimes they cooperate with the Taliban, but at least they're there. Now, as tensions are heating up with India, and there's this increasing focus from India onto Pakistan, Pakistan is threatening to move these troops that are along the border and to send them to the other border, to the border with India.
And we know from your reporting and some incredible tape that we have played on this show, from your reporting for Nightly, about how difficult it already is for our troops in that border region. The prospect of Pakistani troops, even if they are somewhat unreliable, leaving and going to the other border across their country will make things much more difficult for our troops.
It would be a disaster. If that happens, not only does it give the Taliban in this area a much more free area to operate, but it gets worse. 75% of U.S. supplies for Afghanistan go through Karachi, up through Pakistan, and go over the Khyber Pass and into Afghanistan. They need those Pakistani troops along the border to help to protect the convoys. So if these troops move away, that essential supply route is very much in danger.
Yeah, because it's not like we're going to get our supplies in there through Iran, is it?
Well, there's some talks of trying to find alternate routes.
Wow. Richard Engel, the chief foreign correspondent for NBC, thank you for bringing your map. Thank you for
pleasure.
showing all the bells and whistles, and thanks for explaining this. It's great to have you here.
My pleasure.